Leslie Grew Society.
The Blackwell District Clearwater Commission.
Okay. Mitch Miller, TNRD.
There we go. Sepp Wadlegger, Community Forest Board.
I'm Kim Muddyman. I'm a new member of the corporation board.
Sheila Thiessen, Society for the Wolfsgrave.
I'm Mike Smith with the district.
Alcid Prime with the district as well, Deputy Corporate Officer.
We'll do introductions when you do your presentation, Mike. So introduction of late items. Are there any late items for the agenda? Nope. Do you need an agenda, Seppi? There is one here.
Yes, please.
Okay, adoption of the agenda. Do we have a mover?
Moved. Seconder?
Seconder? I second, sorry. All in favor? Carried. Okay, adoption of the minutes. Are there any errors, omissions in the minutes that anyone noticed?
Second.
Okay, moved by Leslie, seconded by Ron. All in favor? Carried. Okay, grant submissions. So we have two groups that are going to do submissions to us tonight, or presentations. And so we have the Blackpool Fire Rescue, and we have the Upper Clearwater Volunteer Fire Brigade. So, there's an agenda there, Wayne. So we'll listen to the presentations and then we'll do the discussion after them. So welcome, Mike. You could introduce yourself and your fire and your crew.
Yep. Good evening, folks. Thanks for having us here. I'm Mike Savage, Fire Chief for Blackpool Fire Rescue and for Little Fort Fire. My Assistant Chief, Dietrich Rempel. Dietrich heads up the operations side for our rescue team. As you know, we provide road rescue services for the entire valley. Augmented the team and split it off in July so that Bay covers the north and we have the south, including the park. With that comes the challenges of meeting the new requirements for training, equipment, and maintenance standards. Keep our equipment and our ability to respond and get people out of bad situations in a timely manner. NFPA 1006 is what we train to, as well as 1607, which is the requirements for rescue and road rescue, rope rescue, and use of the tools that we have on board. Currently, we have close to $300,000 worth of inventory on the truck. This is utilized for getting people out of bad situations, and as anybody knows, this highway has become notorious for serious injury and fatalities. We've responded to 6 fatal accidents in the last 7 months, taking its toll on our crew. So having the equipment to do the job and meet the requirements is critical. We had 2 asks in our request. One was for an e-power ram, and the other was for new airbags. Our current airbags are 30 years old. Under NFPA 1936, they are outdated. The current lifespan on airbags is 15 years. After 15 years, they are to be destroyed. So the airbags, although they look great shape, well maintained, stored in the cool, dry place, and utilized once, maybe twice a year, they're now junk. So we've asked for a 13, a 22.5, and a 37-ton airbag, just to replace what we have, so we can maintain lift capabilities. So somebody's trapped whether it be a logging truck, be a highway rig, or something else. We lift, we crib in 2-inch increments until we can get access to get people out. The e-tools, as you know, because we did this before, first day they were delivered, we cut them open out of the vehicle within 5 minutes. This is high strength steel capability cutting. If you blow one of these tips, it's $2,500. EMBC doesn't cover it. It's out of our own pocket. Bringing it back. Those are quick and easy. This is a hydraulic power ram. This requires 3 men. There's your hydraulic cable. There's your power pack. If you're over the embankment, we take these. Because we can take one guy, take it down, and we're onto it. If we need these, and we can't stay on the road, these all have to go into a basket, strapped in, lower down, put together, and you have 50 feet of rope. And you start cutting. That's why we need one of these and a battery pack. Because half our crashes are off the road. Right now, if we have a, what we call MCI, mass casualty incident, or a major crash, power pack, hydraulic ram, cutters and jaws stay on the highway. E-tools go over the bank. Make it a lot faster, a lot quicker, and a lot easier to gain access. We work on the 20-minute rule. So when we arrive on scene, my clock starts, stopwatch for 20 minutes. If I don't have you cut out in 20 minutes, you're in a world of hurt. If we can't get you in 20 minutes, it means you're so badly mangled in that vehicle, we're going to be there for a long time. We have 4 sets of batteries for each minute, and we bought a converter. The converter will plug right into the generator on the truck with a 100-foot line. Use that once. Went through 8 batteries. Took us 45 minutes to get the guy out. 4 passengers in the vehicle, the other 3 we got out, and under the 20, the last guy took us 45 minutes to get home. So it's having the tools to do the job is critical. Having to maintain them is the other thing. In our ask, we put in our in-kind, and 29,000 for 10 years. That's basically breaking it down as to what we pay third-party providers under NFPA 1937. We have to have third-party come in. They have to test each one of the units for cut, crush, and spread. And the same with the rams. It has to be done for all of them. Airbags also have to be certified. So that's why we're looking at, we need to get these done. And these are ones, they're not within our budget for the article. These are outside the scope of what we normally have, and it's an additional cost. That's what. Coming to the community forest for your assistance, because maintaining this ability in the valley is critical. And as you can see, it's easier. Plug the big power pack over the bank. That takes time. And if you're putting it on the winch, throwing it down the basket, it can kill 15 minutes. Just getting it down before we can start it up. The airbags, like I say, having the ability to run the airbags, that's critical. Part of our PPE that we mentioned in there, those are auto extrication gloves. These are $95 a set. I can go through these on a good training day and have 1, maybe 2 members cut, slice on fire rated protection gloves. And these ones are pushing close to $200 a set. So this stuff is not cheap, and it's our highest use commodity item. As far as reimbursement on a task, we get $346 an hour. That covers our fuel, some of our blue gloves, masks, cleanup materials, and the odd pair of gloves. Really doesn't cover much. And if we have a set tips go, and we have one set go, we fought for 6 months and we got $1,000 out of the profits. But we have to get those in right away. And that comes with the tech, that comes with the tax, the one that has to change them all, we can't.
Wow. So you have questions for Mike? Anyone have questions?
So you're buying a Hearst, wish to acquire a Hearst version of the hydraulic ramp.
Yeah.
Everything works the same battery packs.
Same battery pack, same.
So that one currently, say hydraulic, is that, what's on the bottom of the pump there? Is that a hydraulic tank?
That's a hydraulic tank.
That's what's not there.
Like you say, it's two guys that pack the power pack wherever you're going. Somebody else to pack the hose, because there's two hoses. We just brought one in just for demonstration. We run two, because there's two tools hooked up automatically all the time. So if you're cutting on a vehicle, one person has the jaws, one has the cutter, one's blowing the door, one's blowing the roof, or setting hinges. Stabilization. We upgraded the stabilization equipment 2 years ago to Fire Chief Association BC. $8,000 for 2 sets, one for Dave and one for us. That's the interstate stabilization gear. That's the heavy duty poles, pins, and hydraulics. Almost to the point where we fix the truck, all the stuff we gotta carry.
Okay, well, the question, when the truck leaves the hall, do you always have enough personnel in the truck to be able to do everything you need to do with, if you have to pack this down over the bank?
Before we got those, head-on crash at the heliport, you're looking at the only 2 guys that were left in town. And we blew the windshield, blew the door, blew the roof, handed over to EHS in 12 minutes. And that's the only experienced guys.
That's without the new equipment that you
That's
have.
without the new stuff.
My question was, when the truck leaves the hall, do you have enough people? If you have to pack that unit and the ram down over the bank, you have enough personnel?
We have four to five that go with the truck with the recall.
Okay.
And when we know, like when we had the ones where they're calling in for an MCI, we're rolling a fire truck as well. And in a lot of the areas now, because of the newer vehicles with the front end collision catching fire, we automatically ask for fire suppression and roll launch. So it's in Clearwater's area, Clearwater Fire gets a call for an MBI, we'll get the call for the entrapment. And when we arrive on the scene, we work it.
Okay.
And that's the only way we can do it. In some of the remoter areas, like if we have to go up the park road, our push truck will follow.
Okay.
Is there any more questions? Anyone? Well, thank you very much, Mike. We appreciate that. That was very interesting, and hopefully I never have to be in a vehicle where you're trying to cut me out. That's actually kind of scary.
If you're in a vehicle and we gotta cut you out, we'll do our best to get you.
Okay, well, we'll do our best to see if we can make sure you have the best equipment.
Those battery powered ones are much quicker than having hook up hoses and start the gas engine. That's noisy, makes more noise too.
I don't have a bunch of cables
process is, Mike, is, here the commission comes to a decision, makes a recommendation to council, then it goes to council, so you won't hear anything until after it's gone to council. Okay?
I understand, appreciate the consideration.
Yeah.
Any support?
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for coming out.
You're up.
Oh, those guys left after your presentation.
That's my turn.
The other guys I'm talking about.
So now we're back to the efforts to volunteer fire brigade.
Yes. How is everyone?
Good.
Nice to meet you.
And you are?
I am Matt. I'm the chief. This is
Matt Edwards. He is our new Upper Clearwater Fire Chief. He just took over this year for Steve Murray that stepped down. And I am the Deputy Fire Chief. I became Steve's deputy and Matt took me on as deputy when he became chief. So I've been with the Volunteer Fire Brigade now for about 4 years. Watched them grow and obtain a lot more equipment throughout the years, and Matt's actually joined us last year and took the role of chief this year.
And did you say your name?
My name is Chris Novak.
Okay, well, welcome.
Thank you. Right. So, that's Mike's always hard to follow. Would have been nice for us to go first. Just joking. All kidding aside, we actually were excited to come here and meet everybody and just talk about how underfunded we are. We do have to, fundraise for fuel and whatnot, and everything's out of pocket. It's a scary thing. Thankfully, we rely a lot on the community, and we'd be nothing without the community or without the surrounding fire halls helping us out. And, the tanks really came in handy, and we're really looking forward to upgrading our equipment so we can move water faster and just more efficiently to protect that one way in and one way out.
Yeah, as it stands right now, our one water tenure is now from 1980. It was from Babe and B. It's a great truck for moving water, but the main pump on the front is worn out, and the cost to actually repack it, reseal it, try to fix it, make it run again, would be not cost effective for the fact that the truck is so old and it's hard to get it maintained. We were hoping to look to upgrade into 3 new 13 horsepower volume pumps. These pumps would be crucial for moving water from these new storage tanks that we do have. Our biggest concern up there is water and our ability to get it from one point to another. Right now with our fire engines, they are not capable of sucking from most of our water resources because their engine is meant for a fire hydrant, so they can't really go 10 feet down a creek embankment to suck up. These new motors would be something that 2 people could actually move into a location, drop it into a water source, and pump water very quickly. It would cut our time probably in a third, going from about 22 minutes of fill up for 1,000 gallons down to probably 6 minutes to fill up our water tanks.
Our biggest concern is clean water, and not only that, when the water levels start to go down, it's harder to pick locations to pull water from, and it's a tough task. And all this stuff will increase our times and cut them in half.
Yeah, and we've also asked for upgrades in some of our equipment. For example, we did ask for a couple Y fittings for our forestry and water heat. When we started out, we went off of what we were told was best to go for, and we did go with the plastic ones. They're cheaper, they're lighter, they're quicker. They're malfunctioning. They don't work great when you're doing the plastic to metal fittings on the fire hose themselves. The dissimilar materials are expanding at different rates. They get stuck. When you try to pry them off, they break. So when it comes to our main fire attack line, we would be crucial to have back to the metal fittings that they used to have. They're a lot more expensive, but they're reliable. They won't break on us and they don't stick to each other. So So a couple gated Ys and water thieves would be most crucial for our fire department.
They're actually one-time use at this point.
Oh,
Just
wow.
break apart.
And we were using the tools also to disengage that, and it would not go. After pumping for half an hour, the pressure and the temperature change, just, it wouldn't let it release.
They're no good, yeah.
And with those larger 13 horsepower pumps, we also asked for a couple volume trash pumps, just something to move more water at a quicker volume, something that wouldn't have to go a long distance, but it would be able to drop off at one of our ponds that one of the residents would allow us to use, and that would run a fire line to one of our bladders that would be easily accessible to fill up from our fire truck. Because if we do have our bladders set up on the roadside, pulling up to those, our fire engines can suck from those, from our 6-inch line, and then we're looking at only several minutes to fill up our fire trucks for turnaround.
Yeah, no matter where we go, same as Blackpool, we're shuttling. We have to consider shuttling water all the time and constantly.
Yeah.
So any second saved is better.
And we have upgraded our training at our fire brigade to include vehicle fires and dumpster fires. So we are SCBA trained now.
Okay.
And Blackpool has donated us the proper gear
All the gear.
for us to actually tack that. If somebody was trapped in a vehicle, we can pursue to help them or at least mitigate the fire spread. But yet again, we're limited to how many pumps we have and hoses. So we're really relying on some larger volume pumps. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys belong to the Office of the Fire Commissioner? Do you have a membership, or do you communicate with them at all? Because they have a survey out right now for fire departments. I don't know if you're aware of it.
No.
I don't think we are.
I can send you, I can get your email later or send it to Chris.
Yeah.
Because it closes, it's open on June 30th, and closes at 12. And what they're looking for is information from fire departments on the ability to pay, to pay and fund their selves. And W5 recently had a, don't have possibly interesting to watch.
Okay.
No.
People are recognizing across Canada that all of the fire departments are not properly funded.
Yeah. We're even under that category because we're a brigade.
Yeah.
We're not classified as a department, so we're not recognized at all.
I'm sure there's more brigades than yourself.
Oh, yeah,
There is.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great. piece
And I
of
know our
information.
president has been in contact with some of them to try and get better ideas of looking for funding.
Yeah.
It's hard to fundraise for all that funding when it comes to buying our equipment and fuel, because it takes up our time from training to try and get some help from the community.
So, do you get any support from the TNRD or?
They're trying, but there's a lot of red tape that doesn't allow them to help us,
Okay.
because we're not a registered charity, we're a society.
Yeah, we're kind of stuck in the middle. The goal is to eventually establish a forever home. Our location that we're able to store all of our equipment right now is just a temporary thing, and we do realize that. So we want to start with the foundation and eventually become a fire department is the ultimate goal.
Okay.
We have a lot of work to do, and we're willing to do it.
So if I send an email to your, Curtis.
Curtis would be probably the best. He is our president. He's just out of town right now for field work.
So
Thank you.
if you have a fire and you guys are actioning it, how long does it take BC Wildfire to come up here?
They may not. If it's in our community and it's not in the park or in the Crown Land, BC Wildfire, they may not show up, but they may. I know last year we had a call out where the power line got hit with a tree and there was a small fire started. We were there within 12 minutes. BC Wildfire did show up about 15 minutes after we were set up. They were in the area and they got a call, so they did inform us if they're in the area and they're available, they would come to help us up there, but it's not a
So you are in communication with them then? If they're up in this area, they let you know? Is that-
We're working on the communication to be better. Challenges with being a brigade again, and we're trying to steer that, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you had much luck, or are your residents doing fire smarting? I know fire smarting is the big thing right now, and
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely. There's been a really good response from the community with fire protection and all the education, and we actually sell the sprinkler kits that Blackpool makes, and we've been volunteering our time to install them for free. Just because it's such a good thing to have. You have a wet line around your house, and it's absolutely going to save things, and it makes it easier for us. Then we get eyes on each individual's property and can have egress plans and whatnot put in place, and trying to plan ahead. So there's been a good response.
excellent. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming out. We really appreciate that you giving us a presentation, so we're a little more aware and educated on what you do.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Enjoy your evening.
Do you want this to stay here, or just put it over there? Stay? Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Have a good
thank
day.
you. Night. So the last grant submission was the Wellesley Outdoor Club. They're out of town, so they won't be doing a presentation, but we can review that. So I think we should start by doing the review on the Blackpool Fire Hall. Is there any discussion on that one from people? Okay.
I just think of my kids or my wife on the highway and of Mike Savage being there.
Yeah.
Now that he's
So does anyone have a motion to move?
I'll make that.
Okay.
And those words?
That the Wellsbury Community Forest Commission recommends to council that the application submitted by Blackpool Fire Rescue in the amount of $22,870.40, matching funds for the purchase of airbags and e-power RAM equipment be approved.
Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Ron Hadley seconding it. All in favor?
Oh, and that Wellsbury Community Clearwater locals be placed on fire ground.
Yeah.
In recognition of the grant.
Yeah.
Got a problem with
Okay, seconder, Ron Hadley. Okay, everyone carried, it's approved. Thank you. So the Upper Clearwater Fire Brigade, discussion?
I'd just like to say that there's a need up there, very strong, and we've seen that in the past with that one on the way out.
Yeah.
I'd like to speak on behalf of the community forest, though. Also important because we've got like and a deep bicycle. Companies to support it.
Excellent. So do we have a motion?
I'll move it. The Community Forest Commission recommends the council the application submitted for Fire Brigade in the amount of $20,770.32, which is social funds, for the purchase of the fire equipment, mainly fire pumps and equipment to be approved, and that the Community Forest Corporation and its facility in place. And social media posts in recognition of that, because that's what they said they would do.
Seconder? Sheila Thiessen seconds it, Alison? Everyone in favor? Carried. Okay, the Wells Gray Outdoor Club, they're asking for funds with maintenance. They have 50% matching. Let me see, didn't write down exactly how much they're asking for. Yeah. Yeah. $24,227.55, and they are matching that. And the grant is for maintenance on their groomer that's getting quite old and it needs some repair. But it's still in good shape because they've kept it in good shape. Does anyone have any conflict here in the room with this one as well? I do.
My husband's on the,
Okay.
he's a director on that club.
Okay, so,
So are you removing?
yeah.
Yeah, should I leave the room? Or
No, you don't need to leave the room. You just don't vote.
you can't say you stay, because that means that you're actually.
Yeah. Kim Mightyman has a conflict due to her husband being on the Wellsbury Outdoor Club board, so she will not be voting. So is there discussion on this one?
I'm not sure. I was curious of, how many cross-country skiers there are in winter. I mean, I think this is fantastic. And a really good thing for our community, especially because of the, more options for bike trails in the summer. But I don't know that I didn't see anything.
I saw that they have 141 members. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see it at first either, but then I saw it. Because I'd written down that question and then I read it again and I'm like, oh, there it is. I was just wondering, how much tourist use does anyone have any idea how much tourist use they get?
Well, I see a lot of people coming up from
Yeah.
campers and such, right?
I've been to a couple of their events and
The Birch Lake is a big one, yeah.
it's still fairly weak the last couple of years, but and they've got a very strong kids program.
Yeah, the kids program is excellent.
The thing is for me with these, types of requests, I'm just wondering, okay, here's the membership fee, so forth, like, maybe they should ask more for membership fees and such. Because for me, the whole idea is that this should be already figured out. They should have a maintenance budget and not for snowcats and whatever.
Well,
I think that's what drove their matching funds, so they've got some significant matching funds.
Right, okay.
I think,
Actual, quite a strong, complement there.
Well, and I, yeah,
And no organization aware of their financials on this. Really children, cross-country ski.
Their liability.
I would say 1/6 return funding is. They do a fantastic job of protecting that asset as well. I think we supplied the funds for the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, the facility that they have up there, of course, everything that's there is all on there.
and
It's a well-run organization.
I noticed that their revenue from their memberships has increased from 2020-21 to 21-22, but their skiing day passes decreased. So, I don't know, and they actually showed some income from the Birch Lake rather than just having it, okay, people drop in, so.
the decrease in the day passes could be partly due to the winter last year too. We had a long stretch of super cold weather. And yeah, and then the snow. Is there any other questions, discussion?
I just have to say that I was always impressed with how brewed this winter.
Yeah.
You know, it's always moved with Facebook. So maybe it's a matter of just getting the word out there more to people,
Yeah.
especially from counties. Come and use those trails. Like the bike trails are always like, oh, no, I talk to a lot of people, but these ones, they're quite happy to come up here now.
Yeah. I think it's an excellent community asset for sure, for winter and summer sports. Cause it's hiking too, it's not just bike riding and, I mean, people can go up there and hike as well. So do we have a motion?
we approved for the 24/7 matching funds to purchase the replacement tracks and pay for the installation. And then they placed the two logos on the snow cap and signs, and I think they said they would do social media.
Seconder?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Great, carried. Okay, so next on the agenda was correspondence. I got in the mail just a couple days ago a thank you from Martha Taylor for the Ted Richardson bursary, and then we also got the letter from the mayor about the commission, and so that meeting's being held tomorrow night, so we won't go over that letter. We just have that correspondence now. So the other business, the Ted Richardson bursary, is just an update. The bursaries were given to, it was divided in two, to two people. One went to Martha Taylor, who's going into a nursing program, and one went to Madison Clark, who's apprenticing as a welder. So that's who they were awarded to. Both girls or students really met the community volunteer and the things that they're doing and how they're promoting. Madison did quite a bit of work promoting the welding and females going into the trades and things like that, so. And Martha has been very involved in the community and doing lots of community work. So we felt that they really fit what Ted wants, or what Ted, asked for. He liked the trades and he also liked the academics, so. But their community effort was strong. So that's that. And so once those are paid out, the account would be down to $13,000 in the Ted Richardson bursary. So financial report, I didn't get an updated one from the district, but as of December 31st, 2022, there is a total of $3,773,795.29 in the account. So that's where it was sitting as of December 31st, 2022, so I'm not sure. I think it would be definitely earning interest, because they've got it in a good account for that. So we don't really have a financial report, so I don't know that we would move, or this is just information. Okay, that's the meeting. Thank you. Merlin, move to adjourn. What time? 7:10. Awesome. Thank you.
Quick and simple to the point.
Yeah, that's the way they should be.